Have you ever experienced the unexplainable? Had a close call or a brush with death? What about an eerie encounter with a real-life monster? Or something paranormal that scared the living daylights out of you? I'm B-Buster, horror enthusiast and the host of the Be Scared podcast. Each week, I tell the allegedly true stories that are sure to raise the hairs on your arms and keep you looking over your shoulder as you walk home alone at night. Tune in every Wednesday to be creeped out, be spooked, and be scared.
This content may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion advised.
From Killer Podcasts, true tales of horror, bizarre happenings, unexplainable events. This is Disturbed. Hello, and welcome back to the show. This week, we have 5 stories that will make you shudder. So sit back, listen closely, and dive into the horror. In our first story, a campus love connection takes a terrifying turn. Narrated by Danielle Patterson. From Reddit user AncientAnything212.
When I was 18, I met this guy on a dating app who was 28. Yes, that age gap is a massive red flag, one of many. I was very naive and had no experience with men at the time. I'm 26 now, and I am consistently horrified at young me's decisions. Anyways, we talked a bit, and I learned he went to the same community college as me. After a few days, we decided to meet during a long break in between classes. We met up outside the library and went on a walk together. He immediately did that whole self-pity thing, saying he was unattractive, that most people would just ghost him, and I was young and dumb enough to give him a chance. Over the course of about 3 days, just walking around campus and talking for maybe 45 minutes at a time, he dropped some pretty major red flags. The kind that should have had me running for the hills, but I didn't know how to navigate something like that yet. Flag number 1. He showed me a tattoo on his forearm. A Jack of Hearts card stabbing itself in the heart, because he said he was always putting himself in positions to be taken advantage of. I remember thinking that permanently branding yourself with your own self-pity and martyrdom was concerning, at the very least. Flag number 2. He was prior service military, and he said he was disappointed he spent all of his time stateside because he never got to go shoot anybody. That's exactly how he said it. He regretted never getting to kill anyone. Flag number 3. He wanted to take me stargazing for a first date. I couldn't drive, so he knew he would be driving me, a girl 10 years younger than him, out into the middle of nowhere. He even mentioned a specific spot about 30 minutes from campus, even farther from my house, and he was really set on that idea. So, yeah, that was all within the first 2 days. At the end of our second conversation, we were standing outside one of my classrooms, and he said, "Do you trust me?" He didn't even wait for an answer. He grabbed the strap of my backpack and tried to pull me in to kiss me. I panicked, basically said nope, and ducked straight into my classroom. His face getting that close to mine is still burned in my memory. The next day is the part that really got to me. After everything, I wanted distance. I was finally acknowledging the red flags, and I definitely didn't want to be alone in the woods stargazing with this guy. I didn't know how to reject him directly yet, so I texted him, "Hey, I need to do some reading for my lit class. I'm just going to go to the library instead of meeting today." I made it clear that I did not want company and headed over. I picked a seat in the lobby near the front doors. I wasn't hiding. I didn't even think I needed to. My back was to the entrance, both earbuds in, music loud, reading a book, just trying to exist normally. After a few minutes, my phone buzzed. It was him. "Everything okay?" And something about that immediately felt off. I hadn't told him exactly where I'd be sitting. I hadn't said anything beyond the library. But still, I brushed it off at first. Then I shifted slightly in my seat and glanced out of the corner of my eye. And that's when I saw it. That Jack of Hearts tattoo, resting on the arm of the chair directly behind me. I hadn't heard him come in. I hadn't seen him walk up. He hadn't said a word. He was just there. Close enough that if I leaned back even slightly, I would have touched him. I completely froze. My heart was pounding, but I forced myself not to react, not to turn around, not to acknowledge him at all. Because something about the way he did it, quiet, watching, texting me while sitting right behind me, felt very wrong. I had been clear that I didn't want company, but if he had just walked up and said hi, that would have been normal. This was just weird. I texted back, "Yeah, just catching up on homework," like I had no idea he was there. Then I just sat there, pretending to read, staring at the same page, trying to think of how to get out without him stopping me. Slowly, as quietly as I could, I unzipped my backpack and waited. The second I saw him stand up and walk toward the other side of the room, I didn't hesitate. I shoved my book into my bag, got up, and walked out as fast as I could without running. Once I was outside, I looped around the back of the building so he wouldn't see me if he came out the front. I didn't stop moving until I was completely out of sight, using other buildings as cover. Only then did I text him that I wasn't interested in going on the date. After that, he gave me dirty looks whenever he saw me on campus, but as far as I know, he left me alone. And I learned very quickly to be a lot more selective about who I talk to. Even now, I still feel sick when I think about what his intentions might have been for that stargazing date.
There's a point where you start noticing patterns. Same bill every month, same charges that don't make sense, same feeling that you're paying more than you should. That's how it was with my wireless, so I changed it. I've used Mint Mobile for 3 years and I've never looked back. Mint was built to fix the way wireless works. Their premium plan starts at just $15 a month. You get high-speed data and unlimited talk and text on the nation's largest 5G network. No contracts, no extra fees hiding in the fine print. You bring your phone, keep your number, activate in minutes, and you're done. And the service holds up. That was the part I was skeptical about. But compared to what I had before, there's no drop-off, just a lower bill every month. Ditch overpriced wireless and get 3 months of premium wireless service from Mint Mobile for $15 a month. If you like your money, Mint Mobile is for you. Shop plans at mintmobile.com/disturbed. That's mintmobile.com/disturbed. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month 5GB plan required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customer offer for first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extras. See Mint Mobile for details. Every idea starts the same way. Quiet, uncertain. You wonder if anyone will care, if it's even worth trying. The hesitation stops most people. But if you're building something, the tools you choose matter. And that's where Shopify comes in. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the US. From brands just getting started to established names, it gives you everything you need in one place. I was blown away by how I could build a clean, professional online store with hundreds of ready-to-use templates that match my brand. I can manage inventory, payments, and analytics without jumping between platforms. And Shopify is packed with AI tools that help me write product descriptions, page headlines, and even improve my product photography. If people have not heard of your brand yet, Shopify helps you reach them with email and social campaigns. And if you get stuck, their 24/7 support is always there. It's time to turn those what-ifs into with Shopify today. Sign up for your $1 per month trial today at shopify.com/disturbed. Go to shopify.com/disturbed. That's shopify.com/disturbed. Welcome back, listeners. In our next story, one girl's cat shows her that she's not as safe as she thinks she is. Narrated by Dacey Else from Reddit user Cutie Demon.
This happened April 2024, and I didn't think my trauma, which I'm still trying to heal from, was that serious until I shared my experience with others and saw how horrified they were by it. So I thought this would be a great place to share my unfortunate story. I'm going to try to explain how the apartment building was set up, so bear with me. There are several buildings on the property. They're all 2 stories tall and contain multiple apartments. The buildings are positioned so that 2 will be facing each other. Everyone's front door is directly across from someone else's, with a, median in the middle, so we were separated by maybe 5 yards or more or less. My apartment was upstairs and was directly in front of the stairs that everyone uses to go up and down. I was 20 at the time, and I'd been living alone in the apartment for about a year and a half. During that time, I almost always left a large window in my living room open about an inch, and then the rest would be closed, including the blinds. I live in a dry part of Texas that gets very hot, and my cat likes to look out the window from his cat tree. One night, my boyfriend, we'll call him Tristan, came over, and we were smoking some pot, which we did regularly while watching a murder mystery documentary on YouTube. On this particular night, I also had the window in my bedroom open about an inch because it was exceptionally hot out, but the blinds were down so you couldn't see into my room. Everything was fine until my cat started making a growling noise and began pacing in and out of my bedroom and the living room with a puffy tail. I had just gotten the cat a little over a month before, so it was weird to me that I was a little worried because I'd never seen him do that before. Tristan pointed out that I was still learning my orange cat's behavior, and he didn't seem concerned, so I decided everything was fine. After 30 minutes, my cat was still acting weird, but he had calmed down a bit. I got up to get him a treat and grabbed something to drink from my fridge. You could see straight into my kitchen from the big window in the living room. As I opened the fridge door and looked inside, I suddenly felt really paranoid. My cat was at my feet and growling a little, and I was still high, so I decided it was probably nothing. But then a thought popped into my head. Imagine how creepy it would be if you just looked over and saw a face in the window. I couldn't shake the thought, so I reluctantly closed the fridge door and looked towards the window. To my surprise and horror, there it was, a man's face staring right at me. He was sitting on the stairs in the perfect place to be able to see into the gap I left open by the window. I screamed and ran back into my bedroom to get Tristan. He immediately ran into the living room and pushed the blinds all the way up, only to see the man as he started running down the stairs. He knew he'd been caught. Tristan went outside to make sure the man had actually left, and once he made sure he couldn't see the man anymore, came back in to comfort me. He closed the window and blinds in the living room while I completely lost my mind with panic. I mean, how long had this been going on? And what did this man see me doing? I was so scared and felt so vulnerable. Tristan comforted me the best that he could, but I was bawling my eyes out. Then I started hearing noises coming from my bedroom window too. Maybe I was just paranoid, but we weren't taking any chances and we closed that one too. Tristan looked out through the blinds but said he didn't see anything. I was totally convinced I could still hear something out there. But after a few minutes, the sound stopped. I called my sister and told her what happened, and she told me to call the police. I regret to inform, I didn't. The next day, I worked in the morning and got home around 4 to 5 p.m. and was by myself. My cat had been cooped up all day with no looking outside time, and I felt bad, so I decided I'd open up the windows just until the sun started to set, and then I'd shut everything again, no matter how hot it got. When I went to open my bedroom window, I almost threw up from the amount of pure anxiety that hit me at once. The screen on the window was gone. My mind instantly flashed back to the man. I went outside to look for it, hoping to sweet baby Jesus that it somehow flew off and was on the ground somewhere outside. But nope, I couldn't find it anywhere. The screen, along with my sanity, were gone. I knew it was there the night before because when I opened the window, there was a spider on the screen, and I made Tristan kill it. I immediately called my boyfriend and then my sister, and they both told me to call the police. Good news, this time I did call them. Tristan immediately came over and went to the apartment directly across from mine because we saw that they had a Ring camera. We hoped that if the man was caught stealing on camera, it would guarantee an arrest if he was found. The good news was that the neighbor caught the creepy man on camera. The bad news, he wasn't caught stealing the screen off my window, but instead it showed footage of him from the night before trying to look into my window from in front of the neighbor's door. Based on the time of the doorbell's recording, he must have tried looking in from the other building's stairs and balconies. Then, when he couldn't get a good enough look, he moved to my building to get a better position to look in from. When the police got there, I explained everything and showed them the doorbell footage. They said that there wasn't much they could do except document what happened. They recommended I get a doorbell that records as well and gave me a copy of the police report so I could show the apartment managers to get my screen replaced. I never felt safe in that apartment after that. I couldn't help but wonder if he was outside lurking, trying to see in. Tristan helped me put locks in my windows, and I got out of there as soon as my lease was up. My cat still got to have his look outside time, just not after dark, but most importantly, my cat never made that growling sound ever again.
In our third story, a day of shoe shopping almost ends in tragedy. Narrated by Ashley Hargrove from Reddit user Yema555.
When I was 7 years old, I had a growth spurt and my feet quickly grew to an adult woman's size 7. I thought my woman's size feet were super cool and I could almost wear my mom's shoes. One time we went to the mall for a full day of shopping, which included a stop at our favorite shoe store, DSW. My mom was trying on shoes and I was getting kind of bored, so I asked her if I could try on shoes in my size. The size 7s were only 2 rows over, so she would still be able to see me the whole time. She said yes, and I got really excited. As I rushed over to the aisle, I passed 2 women, lightly bumping into one of them. I said I was sorry and kept going until I found the dress shoes. I tried on a bunch of different shoes in all kinds of styles, and then I saw what every little girl dreams of: bright red high heels. I put them on my feet and hobbled around the aisle, admiring how I looked in them. It was really hard to walk, so I sat down to take them off. That's when the two women I just bumped into walked over to me. I got a good look at them, and they looked like they were in the mid-30s or early 40s. They were much taller and bigger than my mom was. I thought I was going to get in trouble for trying on the high heels, but instead they started complimenting me. They told me I was a pretty little girl and that I could be a model if I wanted to. They even told me that kid models got to wear high heels. They must have kept going on and on about how pretty I was, or who knows, maybe they even offered me candy. But the next thing I knew, I was walking hand in hand with them towards the front of the store. I was a little apprehensive about going with them, but decided it would be okay as long as my mom knew where I was going. I looked back at my mom to see if she saw me, but she was looking at a pair of shoes. We were almost to the front door when from across the store, my mother screamed, "No!" She ran up and ripped me out from in between the two ladies. They booked it out of there as fast as they could, and my mom looked me over to make sure I was okay. We never really talked about what happened that day, but I don't want to know what could have happened to me if I had gone out that door with them.
Don't run away. Disturbed will return in a moment. Most banks are built to take from you. Fees, overdraft charges, minimums. One mistake and your money is gone. Chime does it differently. Chime is changing the way people bank. They offer the most rewarding, fee-free banking. This is fee-free banking built for you. They're not like traditional old banks that charge you overdraft and monthly fees. With Chime, you can get up to $1,150 in annual rewards, fee-free. Set up direct deposit and unlock more. You can get your paycheck early and even access up to $500 of your pay when you need it with MyPay. And the savings can actually grow. Chime offers 3.75% APY. That's 9 times higher than the national average. I know I wish I had Chime when I was younger. Chime is not just smarter banking. It is the most rewarding way to bank. Join the millions who are already banking fee-free today. Head to chime.com/disturbed. That's chime.com/disturbed. It only takes a few minutes to sign up. Chime is a fintech, not a bank. Banking services for MyPay provided by Chime's bank partners. Optional products and services may have fees or charges. Stated annual percentage yield for Chime Prime only. No minimum balance required. For more information on APY rates, MyPay, go to chime.com/disclosures. Most people don't think about what they wear. They just grab whatever's there. But when you start paying attention, you realize how much easier it is when everything actually works. That's why I keep going back to Quince. Quince has all the wardrobe staples for spring. 100% European linen shorts and shirts starting at $34. I picked up 2 of their linen shirts recently, and it has been in a constant rotation. It's breathable, comfortable, and still looks put together. And it didn't cost what I expected. Everything is priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands because Quince works directly with ethical factories and cuts out the middlemen. Refresh your everyday with luxury you'll use. Head to quince.com/disturbed for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/disturbed for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/disturbed. In our next story, headlights on a country road aren't quite what they seem to be. Narrated by Danielle Gardner from Reddit user Frog08.
Okay, so there's a small village next to the city where I live, where my best friend lives. And when we were younger, we would spend all our summers there. When we got our licenses, we used to go out driving at night and explore the village. We saw some of the craziest stuff that you wouldn't believe me if I told you. As an adult, I don't really take that stuff seriously. We were kids and probably made most of it up. But last summer, we were both home and decided to start going out again just for the fun and the nostalgia of it. It was around 9 or 10 at night, and it was already really dark when we set out. We were riding in my friend's car on the main road that goes in and out of town. There's this really sharp turn in a spot where the road narrows, and it's basically only possible for one car to get through at a time. It's also important to note that this road is like the deadliest one in the area, and lots of cars have gotten into fatal crashes on their way into the city. As we approached the sharp turn, we were going pretty fast, and my friend wasn't paying attention. I told him to slow down because I saw headlights coming towards us. He saw them too and slowed down to a stop right in front of the turn. When the other car got closer to us, its headlights were so bright we both had to close our eyes. It was like we were flashbanged. So the lights passed us and we went back to cruising the road. I looked back to check out the other car, but I didn't see the car or any lights. I kept looking behind us, waiting to see the taillights somewhere further away, but there was nothing. I sat there in disbelief for a moment, and then I realized that I didn't actually see the car itself, only the lights. I wanted to see if my friend had seen the same as me, so I jokingly said, "Bro, what an asshole. I couldn't even see that car from the high beams. We could have crashed." He hit the brakes so hard I almost hit my head. He told me that he didn't see a car either, but didn't want to tell me because I wouldn't have believed him. We just stared at each other, not sure what to say or think. In unison, we both turned around and looked back to try to see the car and the lights. But there was nothing but darkness down the road. We drove back into town and stopped at the bus stop to ask people if they'd seen a car. A middle-aged guy said he'd been waiting there for 15 minutes and no cars had passed from the direction the lights came from. We were both confused and totally freaked out. We had to get out of the car to calm ourselves down. I asked my friend to write down exactly what he saw, and I did the same. He wrote, "Extremely bright lights that illuminated everything around from 2 orb-like light sources. Wouldn't necessarily say they were headlights." I wrote down the same, almost word for word. When we got back to my friend's house, we started searching for answers, but we couldn't find a reasonable explanation. All we knew is that it was 100% not a car. Whether y'all believe in ghosts or not, we think it was the ghost of a dead driver warning us to slow down. Which got me thinking, maybe all those things I thought we made up as teenagers about the village were true.
In our final story, would you answer the door when you hear knocking, but no one's there? Narrated by Laura Lockwood, from Reddit user Recent Cancel 3671.
About a week ago, I was home with my mom one night. We were sitting in the living room with our German Shepherd. Mom was doing a crossword, and I was reading when we heard it. 3 loud knocks on the front door. 2 things happened right away. Outside in the hallway, we heard our cat race upstairs. I'd find her squeezed under my bed hours later. Meanwhile, our dog stood up and looked towards the door. Her ears were down and her tail was between her legs. Mom and I looked at each other. It was late in the afternoon and we weren't expecting any guests. Plus, our dog never behaves this way. She's usually excited when someone knocks on the door. She loves visitors, but just then she was backing into the corner like she was terrified. It was strange, but I guess we didn't think too much about the dog at the time, or the cat, actually. He's not normally skittish either. We were more interested to see who was at the door because we hadn't heard anyone open our gate. See, our property's fenced in on all sides, so the only way to get to the house is to open this big, heavy metal gate at the top of our driveway. It's old and it creaks pretty loudly, so we can always hear people coming a mile away. Intrigued and, not wanting to be rude, Mom and I both went into the hallway to answer the door. There was no one there. Thinking that maybe we'd taken too long to respond, Mom suggested that whoever it was might have wandered around the back. So we went outside and walked the perimeter of the house, yelling out to whoever was there. But the property was empty. Even our dog had stayed inside. There was no sign of a visitor either. No muddy footprints after the rain we'd had that day. And the driveway gate was definitely still closed. As we headed back inside, we talked about who might have knocked. Our only close neighbor is an elderly man, and there's no way he could have made his way over to our place alone and on foot. Honestly, he probably would have struggled to get the gate open. And there's no way that someone could have knocked on the door, then made it back up the driveway and off the property before we got there. We would have seen them. So, needless to say, Mom and I were shook up as we walked back inside. We knew we hadn't been hearing things. Those 3 knocks were so clear and sharp. But we also knew that there was no one there. Now, no one in my family is a big believer in the paranormal. We're the sort of people who will look for the logical explanation for something strange or weird. But that day, for the first time, we couldn't think of what that would be. And in the days since, we've only had more strange experiences inside our house. For starters, I stopped sleeping with my bedroom door closed, because whenever I close it, I can hear knocking on the outside. Always 3 sharp taps. If I leave it open, though, I have peace. Our pets have also been acting strangely. They've taken to hiding behind furniture and have started making unusual noises. The cat hisses a lot and the dog growls all the time. Neither of them have ever acted so aggressive before now. They've always been friendly and chilled out. The worst thing has been the voices. Every one of us has heard the others calling their name, even when there's no one else home. My dad was in the shower after work one day while Mom and I took the dog for a walk. And when we came back, he said he'd heard Mom calling out to him from the kitchen. When I'm home alone, I keep hearing my parents calling to me from various rooms in the empty house. Yesterday, I came home and was making a snack in the kitchen when I heard 3 loud knocks on the front door again. This time, the force of the knocking was so strong that my keys, which I'd left in the door, were rattling. After that, I asked advice from people online, and what I was told terrified me. They said it's too late, that Mom and I already made the biggest mistake. We opened the door. Whatever knocked that first afternoon was asking to come in, and when we answered the door, we unknowingly issued an invitation. So now some entity is living in our house with us. I don't know what it wants or how to make it leave. People suggested it's a mimic because of the way it's using our own voices to trick us. If that's the case, then they said the best thing to do is ignore it. It'll eventually get bored and leave on its own. Other people think it's something more sinister. Sage won't help, they said. Don't even try. A priest might help, but even that's not a guarantee. Mostly people have said they're sorry that we opened the door. Maybe I'm imagining it, but it's like they're offering condolences when I hear that. As I sit here telling you this, I can hear my mom calling to me from upstairs. I know she's at work and that she won't be home for hours, but it's getting so hard to ignore her. She sounds desperate, like she's scared. And I am too. But I'm only scared about what will happen when I answer her call, because I can't resist the pull for much longer. And I don't know what will happen when I finally give in.
New episodes of Disturbed drop every Thursday. If you love the show, consider becoming a member to access early and ad-free episodes. There you can also access our exclusive monthly series, A Night by the Campfire, where we share the scariest stories we can find from professional authors. A few episodes have been released here for free, so scroll down and listen. I'm your host, Doug Bailey, and this has been Disturbed. If you have a story you'd like to share, email us at mystory@disturbedpodcast.com or post on our subreddit, r/disturbedpodcast. If you enjoyed the show, consider subscribing and leaving a review. Disturbed is a production of Killer Podcasts and part of the Evergreen Network. For more true crime and paranormal shows, visit killerpodcasts.com. Our producer is Sarah Wilgrube, and Declan Roars is our executive producer. Audio engineering by Nathan Corson, Sean Rule Hoffman, and Will Pritz. Music by Epidemic Sound and by Carl Casey at White Bat Audio. Until next time, stay safe out there.